What is going on, you guys? It is your boy, The Wizard here, and today I'm giving you guys a top 10 list. Top 10 bands of all time, my personal favorites. And I will be sharing with you a little bit of my thoughts, I'll speed through them, and my favorite album from each band. So yeah, let's get into it. At number 10, I have Pink Floyd. This band is awesome. This band is one of my favorite bands of all time for a reason because they have so many amazing songs that are just so well put together, and their stories and everything that they have in their songs are amazing. The instruments are off the wall, man, like off the wall. They're very, very good. Yeah, David Gilmour is one of a kind. Roger Waters is insane. Uh, yeah, they make such amazing music, and it's stuck with me ever since I first ever heard them. And I love the Wall movie, and my personal favorite album by them is The Wall. So yeah, I think they should always be in the conversation too about being one of the best bands of all time for sure, for sure. So yeah, that is my number 10. Number 9, Iron Maiden, probably my favorite metal band of all time for sure. These guys know how to bring it down, dude. They can bring the house down. They are coming in guns blazing, these gentlemen. Always angry, always fierce, always ready to rock, just like, they have such a good aura to them, man. But they're heavy, they're melodic at some points with their guitars. Like, their guitar solos are all harmonized. It's insane. All their albums are just so good and so well put together as well. My favorite being probably Number of the Beast. Excuse me. That is a great album. That is an amazing album. Oh, man. If you've never heard Number of the Beast, man, you got to go listen to it. You'll be a metalhead forever. It is so good. But all these bands, by the way, I have tatted. I got Pink Floyd and I got Iron Maiden right there. Like, such a good band, dude. They have been rocking it out for decades, and they deserve this spot for having just such amazing music. And yeah, sticking with me for so many years. So many years of hearing these guys. So yeah. Number 8, I have Alice in Chains. I love this band so much. They might be my favorite grunge band of all time, but they're very different. They're not just straight grunge. They're very heavy metal grunge, I think, almost. They have a more metal sound to them than they do just grunge. So that's what I really like about them. They're very different. But God, Lane Staley's vocals, man, on another level. Always. He's such an amazing vocalist, and I need to see him more on singer lists, like best vocalist of all time list. I need to see him more on those. I haven't seen him very high up on a lot of them. But yeah, it's a pain. Um, but yeah, this band, man, all the band members are just tight and always doing the right thing. Like, Lane is just pulling out he's belting these vocals to an amazing guitar riff by Jerry Cantrell or an amazing guitar solo. Then either Mike Starr or Mike Inez, being the bass players that were, they are pulling out some beautiful bass lines. Like, Rotten Apple has a beautiful bass line to it. Then Sean Kenny, my man, being on the drums. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. He is such a hard drummer. If you want to hear some of the hardest drumming you've ever heard, and you don't know if you'll ever be able to play it, listen to God Am off of their self-titled album in 95. That's an insane song. So yeah, I think Alice in Chains definitely left their mark on me. Literally, Alice in Chains. Yeah, they really left an impression on me, man. I remember re-listening to all their stuff so much, and I really got into them just a couple years back, man, and they've stuck with me ever since. They are such a good band. I really do love them. So yeah. Number 7, we have a band that I recently just talked about on the channel with an album ranking, Live. If you've never heard of this band, you need to go listen to them right now. Just stop watching the video and go listen to Live. My favorite album by them, I forgot to say my favorite Alice in Chains album, Jar of Flies. Live, my favorite album by them is Throwing Copper, easily their biggest album I know, but it's so big for a reason. It's so good. It sounds so different and fresh and raw. Like, these guys, I don't know much about them, but they're amazing. I know that the singer is Ed Kowalski. I know he is he's a very different vocalist for me. He has a very odd voice, but I love his voice so much. He can really belt out some vocals very well. Their guitarist, Chad Taylor, he's amazing too. Brings out such good guitar riffs that I will never forget. Uh, I can't remember the last name of the bass player, but Patrick Dell something. Delheimer, I think it is. He's a very good bass player. He's a very, very good bass player. He uses some slap bass on their earlier stuff. It's really, really cool. And then of course my man Chad Gracie on drums. Oh man, he's so killer on the drum kit, man. So killer. He just his fills are so odd, but it's so awesome. But yeah, I'd have to say that this is one of my favorite bands of all time because of their sound and their feel. And their lyrics are just beautiful, man. They're so beautiful. I don't know how to explain this band other than you just have to go listen to them. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Live. Number 6, I might get a little bit of flack for this. Number 6, I have Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't care what you say. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers so much. They are a great, great band, and they are very consistent. I will say that for sure. They are very consistent with keeping their sound, never giving up on their sound, and just being themselves, dude. They're always being themselves, and they're so funny, and they're so funky, groovy. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but they're fun. They're so much fun to listen to, and they have so many great songs and so many great albums. My personal favorite being Californication, as many others have been. But I personally also really, really like Stadium Arcadium and Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And By the Way. So yeah, this band has always really stuck with me, and I've always been keeping them on repeat ever since I've heard their albums because they're so much fun. They're so groovy, and I could sing about half of their discography. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's what I have to say about Red Hot Chili Peppers. Number 5 is a band I don't think many will know, but we are going to figure it out. Number 5, I have Ocean Alley, a more newer band that first formed in 2011 and then had 2 EPs from 2013 to 2015, then had their first debut in 2016, which, yeah, then they made 5 studio albums, and they are all amazing. And man, did their second album, Chiaroscuro, being my favorite, really stuck with me for so long. And it still stuck with me to this day. And it is, honestly, I think Spotify even told me at one point that it is my most listened to album ever on Spotify, which is kind of whack. I didn't know I listened to it that much. So that alone was like, to me, it showed me, I was just like, yes, I love this band to death. This band is amazing, but they don't come as close to the other bands coming up. But yeah, this band is, even though they're newer, they feel older. They feel like they make old music, so they feel like an old band that's been around for a long time. And that's what's so special about them. I do have a tattoo of them, but it's back here, so you can't see it. But yeah, I love this band. If you've never heard this band, I really do recommend their stuff. They are an amazing band, and you will not be disappointed. So yeah. Number 4, we have Van Halen. I love Van Halen. This band is everything, dude. They got the flair. Just they got the flair of the rock and roll on them. And it's so standard rock and roll, but it's like hair metal too, and it's like glam metal or glam rock. And it's just like, it's so much fun, and they make so many good songs. So many good songs. I can't even name half of them because they're so good. There's so many too. Um, my favorite album by Van Halen, though, isn't from the Roth era. No. My favorite Van Halen album is 5150. And I've already talked about that a bunch in my Van Halen album ranking, so if you want to go see my thoughts on that, you can go check that out. But yeah, Van Halen has stuck with me ever since I was a kid, and I don't think I would ever get enough of them. They have always been there. They've always stuck with me. They've always come up in my recommendations on my music stuff, and I always listen to them. I always give them a spin because they're such great rock and roll hits. They're such great in rock and roll. This band is rock and roll, honestly, except for number one. I'll get to that. But yeah, Van Halen is easily one of my favorite bands of all time and has been ever since I was a child. So yeah. All right, guys, we are in the top 3. We are about to get into it. Are you ready? I'm ready, so let's go. Number 3 is Rush. This band is revolutionary. You have 3 members that make some of the most impossible sounding music I've ever heard in my life. But they make it sound so easy, and they make it sound so beautiful. And it's an experience. It is just such an experience to listen to this this band. This band has so many songs that would just take you on a journey, on a trip, and have so many different sounds and vibes to them. It's so crazy, dude. But it's so amazing. I got it. I had to tell myself, I was like, if I put Rush on this list, they would be very high up. But how high? And I knew they had to be a top 3. They had to be in my top 3. So yeah, if you haven't heard Rush before, I guarantee you will love Rush if you ever listen to my favorite album personally by them, which is 2112. 2112. Just go listen to that album and you will see how good Rush really is and how insane some of their stuff really sounds and how it will really hook you in. It will just hook you in, you know? It's insane. I also have a tattoo of Rush, but it's like, it's right there. 2112. There you go. Okay, now moving on to number 2, we have The Doors. Oh, man, what can I say? What can I say, man, about The Doors that I haven't already said before in my album ranking? I love this band. My favorite psychedelic band of all time, probably. Most likely. And they aren't just psychedelic rock. They make blues rock. They make classic rock, hard rock. Like, I wouldn't even say that they're like heavy, but like then for the 60s, they're heavy. Like, honestly. It's so insane. Jim Morrison is such a great vocalist. Excuse me. He is such an amazing vocalist. I don't really know how to explain it, but he is different. He has such a different range in his voice and his pronunciation. It's so interesting. But he's also just such an interesting man. Like, the story behind Jim Morrison is so interesting. That's why I love the movie. But yeah, you also have Robbie Krieger, who is an amazing guitarist, who has such great licks. I'm going to call him licks, because that's what he does. He makes such cool licks. Guitar licks, especially, yeah. That's the word, guitar licks, yeah. And he's also backed up by Ray Manzarek with the keys. But not only that, he plays keys with one hand and plays bass with the other hand on another keyboard. He plays bass. Keys and bass. Same dude doing this. That is talent. That is insane talent. But then you have John Densmore on the drums. I'm looking at a poster up here. That's what I just pointed at. You got John Densmore on the drums, who brings this jazzy flair to it. And it's awesome. He brings such a crazy flow to the music and such a straightforward, great little beat in the like, you know, you know, like stuff like that. It's very jazzy, but also very hardcore rock, you know? Not hardcore, but, you know, like hard rock. But yeah, I love this band. My dad got me into this band when I was a kid. Ever since I was a kid, I've never forgotten this band, and I knew they were always one of his favorite bands, and I knew they were always going to be one of my favorite bands. So yeah, that's what I think about the Doors. All right, number one, my number one band of all time, never gonna change, Led Zeppelin. Yes, my favorite band of all time is Led Zeppelin. They have one of my favorite songs of all time. Actually, my favorite song of all time is Stairway to Heaven. By the way, my favorite Doors album is their self-titled Doors album, very first debut. Thank you, I keep forgetting. But yeah, Led Zeppelin has some of the most amazing, best songs I've ever heard in my life. They bring out hit after hit after hit, and Stairway to Heaven is definitely their magnum opus, but it is also my favorite song of all time. Off of my favorite album of all time, not just by them, but of all time, Led Zeppelin 4. Golly. But it's not just Led Zeppelin 4 that they are amazing on. You got Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4. You got Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, Presence, In Through the Outdoor. Like, so many great albums. So many great albums. They are rock and roll. These guys are exactly what rock and roll is. They played blues rock. They played hard rock. They played classic rock. They played an early version of punk at one point with Communication Breakdown. People even called that early punk, early signs of like punk. They even did psychedelic at one point with No Quarter and reggae, and like they were so different. They changed genres and were so consistent with them as well. They changed my life, dude. They really did. After hearing their first album for the very first time on vinyl, I have never been the same, dude. It has changed my life drastically. And that's a promise. Like, honestly, that is how it went. I have never been the same ever since I heard Led Zeppelin. They have changed my life. So yeah, that's my top 10 ranking. That is my top 10 list of bands of all time. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this with my top 10s and everything like that, just let me know in the comments below. And also leave your top 10 bands in the comments below. I would love to read your lists. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.